Now let's try to solve example number 1, which is evaluating trigonometric functions. Evaluate the 6 trigonometric functions of the angle theta, which is the given over here. So we have a right triangle here. The hypotenuse is the longest side. Now, these are your two legs of the right triangle, whose measurement is 5 units and 12 units. Now, to solve this, we need to find the length of the hypotenuse. So from the Pythagorean theorem, the length of the hypotenuse now will be solved using this equation over here. Now, remember, when you are applying Pythagorean theorem, you can label your hypotenuse as your C, and your two legs can be labeled as A or and B. So either way, it doesn't matter. Remember, when applying the Pythagorean theorem, um, the square of your hypotenuse should be equal to the sum of the squares of your A and your B. Okay, so we square your A and B, and then we add them. That should be equal to the square of your C. So in this case, your hypotenuse is missing. It should be equal to the sum of the two. So we just plug in our values. So we don't know our C, which is the hypotenuse. A is 5. That should be 5 squared. 5 squared plus the square of 12. Okay, so applying our basic math to get rid of the squared, we square root both sides to cancel that square. Okay, so that's how we got this equation over there. So continue doing that. You can use your calculator in solving that. So 5 squared, that's 25. 12 squared, that is 144. 25 plus 144 is 169. Take the square root of 169. So your C now, or your hypotenuse, will be 13. Okay, so your hypotenuse is 13. Moving on. So we can identify now, since this is our given angle, which is the theta, okay, the side in front of it will be your opposite side, and the side beside the theta will be your adjacent side, or your A, and of course your hypotenuse will always be the longest side. So that's your hypotenuse. So that's how we got these givens here. So adjacent is 5, opposite is 12, and your hypotenuse is 12. Now the values of the 6 trigonometric functions of theta are, okay, let's start with sine. Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, or the ratio of your opposite and your hypotenuse. So opposite is 12, hypotenuse is 13. So that's 12 over 13. So that's the first trigonometric function. Second is cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is 5 and your hypotenuse is 13. So your cosine theta will be 5 over 13. Next is tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 12, and your adjacent is 5. So your tangent theta will be 12 over 5. Next is cosecant. Remember, cosecant is the reciprocal of your sine. So we have here sine 12 over 13. So your cosecant now will be 13 over 12. Cosine theta will be the reciprocal of your cosine. Secant is the reciprocal of your cosine. So hypotenuse, that's 13. Adjacent will be 5. Tangent, the reciprocal of your tangent will be cotangent theta. So it will be 5 over. So these are now the values of the 6 trigonometric functions. Sine theta will be 12 over 13. Cosine will be 5 over 13. Tangent will be 12 over 5. Cosecant will be 13 over 12. Secant will be 13 over 15. And cotangent will be 5 over 12.